Good afternoon, everybody. DJ Styles. I'm working on the sculpture. I'm still waiting on my latex. It's going to shrink just a little bit more. Maybe tomorrow. I think tomorrow I might try to cast it in stone. Hopefully I didn't knock that out of frame. All right. Sorry for the mess, but when you're working, you're working. I am not going to clean my studio until probably the end of next week. And it is a pain in the neck because, okay, let me just get back to, I have the actual sculpture, or the actual mask, the Trick or Treat Studios mask. Now, I'm not trying to replicate it identically. Yeah, and I am, but the positionings are a little different. The position, I don't want my eyebrows getting really screwed up. There are going to be some cuts going through here. I'm going to add those scratches in here. I'm putting all the little details here. I got to do one more above. I'm going to freehand this one. Well, I've been freehanding it all along, so what's the difference? Now, what I'm doing is I'm adding the cracks, the little, the imperfections. And the key to success with that is you have to, actually, what you have to do is, I use this little tool here. Let me see if you can see that. And I use this a lot. And I use cellophane. Where the heck did my cellophane go? Oh, right here. I use a little bit of cellophane, and that's when I put the lines in and stuff. So you don't want to put too much of it. You don't want boogers. That's what they're called, boogers. A little bit's okay because then that changes. Like in here, like this is pretty deep. Some of these cuts, the chin area. I'm just kind of broad. I'm all over the place with this. Like I said, this is the NightCreeper 1978, and I'm turning it into the H40 with the aging process. And I'm kind of randomly jumping all over the place here on you guys. But what I'm doing now is I'm looking at this one spot on this head. I don't know if I have that in frame, but I have the actual Trick or Treat Studios mask right there that I'm looking at, and that I overhauled. And I'll zoom out a little later and I'll show you. But I gotta position this thing. Okay. Oop, too high. You'll get the general gist of it. Just want to try and get it shaped. Okay. Cut across this way a little bit. This is that part of the top of the head. It's not, it's close, but it's not exact. We don't want exact because I'm not trying to absolutely make a perfect copy. These are just cuts and scratches. As long as they're positioned right and you have the right look, you're good. It'll be scary as hell. Like I said, this is my Custom Corpses version, and that's what's so cool about doing these masks. You don't want to. I mean, yeah, okay, everybody does seek to have the perfect rendition of the original shape of the Myers mask, but there has to be a little bit of something that separates you from others, you know, and that's your little spin on the mask, you know. And I mean, even the shape, I think it's real important to make sure that you have the shape right. The shape of the head, the shape of the eyes, they're important. But as far as the actual little tiny details, that's where you can kind of alter it a little bit. You know, you just, you know, I've seen so many different versions of Michael Myers. It's crazy. I don't know how many pictures I've looked at, but everybody's mask, and even the guys that I follow and love passionately their work, they have little twists, and maybe they're not done on purpose. Maybe they're trying to replicate it perfectly, but I just don't think it's possible to, you know, do a perfect Myers mask. I already see differences using this mask where the chin is out from the cheek, where the chin, instead of coming straight down like this, the stretched look, it comes out a little bit. In other words, this comes out, so it protrudes a little bit further out, the chin area and the jawline, just a little bit. It's a little bit, it comes out and it's shaped a little steeper. It's kind of hard to explain, but I see it. Not that I'm ignoring it. I'm trying to make mine several different versions mixed into one. Now, with everything being said, and what I've been doing so far is, like, you see how like the edge, the eyes don't have that sharp edge anymore. I've rounded this and cut them back a little bit. The shape of the eye cuts are identical still, but I rounded this in and brought it in just like it is in the 2018. So if you look, see, that's all rounded there. That's rounded off in here, and that's what I did here. I rounded this off, and I'm going to be cutting in the cuts. And even the cuts on this is my overhaul. Even the cuts and where the spots are on here, I'm getting close, but I'm not trying to. Now that thing I just did there, see, there's a little bit of a difference. This is a little bit more round. Mine's a little sharp to the edge up here. And I might round it off just a little bit better, but that's pretty much. And then I'm going to do the scratches in here. I'm working on that. I got some little bit of scratching to do here, here, here. I already did this. That's pretty close. Just doing everything by eye, guys, you know, and just trying to. I still got the underneath of the jawline, the wrinkles. I got to cut all this in yet. I still got the eye or where the piercing, the needle piercing in the neck. That's got to get all kinds of cracks and stuff in it yet. Yeah, I'm getting there. It's just time consuming. I'm working on one side of the face at a time because I don't feel like repositioning myself all the time. I have to reposition the lighting. I have to reposition a lot of stuff just to work, you know, just spinning it and constantly working with it. So doing a little bit at a time here. And I didn't go crazy trying to film all this. I should have, maybe, I don't know. I just think that this is where the artist comes into play. I can't teach anybody how to be an artist. I can't. That's impossible. What I can teach you is techniques. And what I did was I took a looped tool here. I'll show you something. I took one of these loop tools and I bent that thing to give it a nice sharp needle, you know, so I can dig in and get these little areas in here, you know. And I'm sure there's some tools out there, but you got to make do with what you got, you know. Whatever you have, make a tool. Don't be afraid to make your tools. You know, these are a dime a dozen. You get a whole bunch of these things. These little carvers are great, you know, especially when you get into the fine detail. But don't stick with just because they gave you a round loop that you can't do something with that. I have like 4 or 5 of these things laying around, same size. So I figure, well, let's bend this, make it work for me in certain situations. So That being said, I am gonna, because I'm gonna dig this out anyway. Just a little bit. Now, you see those sharp lines that's leaving in there? I'm raking so little bit, so now, very little. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the little looper that I have. It's round instead of the big loop. See, I've got two different size loops. And believe it or not, these loops are set on a pitch. You see how, like, when I put them together, they're pitched away from each other? All right. Because one side's the carving side, the cutting side, and the other side is just the moving side. That's something nobody realizes with these tools. In other words, this is bent just a little bit that way. And that's the cutting side, this side here. This side is just there to scrape and move the clay. Not really cut in, but I am going to cut in just a little bit and smooth out. Yeah, that's one thing that, you know, if you're an artist, you're an artist, and that can't be taught. You know, you can't be taught how to be an artist. You know, it's totally God's gift to you, and but we can teach you techniques, you know, and that's all I'm trying to do, is to show you guys techniques. That's why the art part of it to me is, you know, I mean, so I guess people like to see you do it, but it's time consuming. And now this cut in this head, this is not, it's not perfect. You don't need it to be perfect. You don't want a two ring. You don't want to see cuts in it, because then you'll see it'll look like it's something carved. I'm doing the same thing here. Now I'm going to watch my cutting edge. I want my cutting edge, because I want to pull some of that clay off of there in the middle. Whatever gets it done. You know, and it don't have to be perfect. Remember, the center here is aged, wrinkled, chipped. I don't know what they were trying to do when the initial thought on the look of this mask. Aged. I got news for you. Latex does not age the way this mask was done. Latex dissolves over time. It literally deteriorates and dissolves. Like any kind of cut areas, they'll open up. It'll just literally dissipate 25, 30 years down the road, depending on how well you take care of your mask. Sometimes only 10 years, depending on how, like I said, how well you take care of your mask. But the aging process definitely is different than what this mask represented. That's for sure. It doesn't age like this. Your mask doesn't. Wrinkles don't happen. Deep cuts can happen from stretching, and you know, but not like this. You'll literally get tears. It's not accurate on how a mask would literally age, but it looks cool, and that's what they were after, and they wanted to make sure that that's what they achieved. So right now I'm just looking at the different things that I can be doing. I still got no, I think that's pretty smoothed out. I still got a little bit of work to do right underneath this ear where I had reshaped the ear, but you know, this is what I'm doing, and I have to keep working at this. Now this one is real subtle. This this particular indentation that's in the head here. So I don't want to dig too deep into this. This is more shallower. It's shallower than the other ones. You know, it's just the little details that matter, you know, just a little bit. Not left-handed. Sucks, but you gotta be able to accomplish, because sometimes you can't get the tool in the way you want it to be without using the hand that you don't like, the one you don't use a lot. But since I'm doing such real fine work here, I'm really barely putting any pressure on this. Now the final smoothing will be using the naphtha and a paintbrush. That'll take all the little scrape marks out of the clay and stuff. That's what you want to do. Now, because I created that scrape there, what was I gonna, which one was I using? I'm trying to remember. I think I was just using the blade. And not at this position now. And all these little marks I'm putting in here, you remember when I put that, the naphtha on there, that'll kind of wipe it out and give it less definition, which that's what you want. You want a little bit more smoother effect on it. And what am I going to do now? I think I'm going to use this. Now you see how that I bent this needle? All right, that's because I don't want to rake into it this way, because if you rake it in that way, you're going to cause what they call boogers. And let me show you what a booger is. All right, I'll take this. Let me try to smooth out this spot here on this clay. Now, let me show you what a booger is. All right, a booger. All right, you see that? You see that little tiny booger that came out of the side from digging in? Well, the difference is if I lay it this way and I just, now you see how nice and smooth that is? I just, no boogers. All right. Digging in, you're going to create boogers. See all those little tiny fibery looking boogers on the edge? You don't get that over here when you lay the needle down and pull it towards you. All right. I don't know how good you could see that. See the boogers on this side? That's from digging in this way with the needle, and this side is laying it down and pulling it. You don't want buggers, but you're still going to get that little edge, but that's okay. Well, I got a little booger there. What I can do with that is now naphtha will come along and take care of that edge. It'll get rid of it. Another way to create, let me do it again. Now, this is definitely the way you want to do it. If you're really worried about getting any boogers at all and you don't get that edge, all right, so I'm going to do this with the cellophane on it. This is what you want to do for wrinkles, believe me. So I can get it tight against this surface. That's what I want. All right, I put the cellophane on there. All right, now even if I go this way with this, I won't get the boogers. All right, this is good for texturing, making wrinkles for face. as long as you don't pierce the plastic. All right, now we'll go to the other side and we'll put bigger wrinkles in there. All right, now you take that off. Now look how smooth this is. No boogers at all, not even the dents. See, now I got it in the light. You see how you're not even getting the dents on the sides? You're getting real nice wrinkles. That's the trick to doing really good wrinkles. You know, just trying to get the light so you guys can see that. All right, see how the smooth that is? That's using that plastic. Definitely works the best. I got a piece of plastic here, but the best thing to use is cellophane. But whenever you cut into, when you start cutting in with a needle like that, you got to watch you don't pierce it. Once you pierce the cellophane, it's no good to you. So when I use cellophane, it's such a thin, you know, it breaks easier. I don't ever rake. I always use the back side of the needle. So once again, this was a straight needle, and I bent it a little bit, so it gave me, I can put things in there that way. I got a lot of, let me see, where are some of these marks? I'm gonna figure out the position of this first, and I'll show you a couple just for the fun of it. Right in here. You can't see because of the light. Let me turn this light on me. Yeah, my shadows. All right, let me see. I'll do it this way. Position this right. I just put little tiny wrinkles in there. You can see that. Just a couple little lines, you know. Now I can pretty much achieve that same thing by, you know, just making sure that I don't want to push too hard. I'm only trying to create real light wrinkles. If you want to call them wrinkles. Couple over here. As you can see, there's a little bit of an edge that pushed. That's because I had too sharp I put the needle down too sharp on it. So all right, let's see, what else can we do? Now these are deeper cuts into the always crisscross your you know what, I don't like the way that's looking, so I'm going to do it this way. I'm doing the deeper ones right now. I'm pushing harder. Now these I'm not trying to make identical to the Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. Now these are the old ones. It put some nice wrinkles in there. Yes, it did. The camera's not going to grab that, but it did. It put some nice wrinkles into the face. And yep, it's just that way. Let me see. I'm going to put. I see some activity going on over here. Just a little bit of work. That's it. I want to go crazy. I'm just looking at the face itself. I don't see any wrinkles there. Top of the nose has no wrinkles. The head does have some wrinkles at the top. Okay, so it's time to do some. Boy, this has just got really milky looking, so. Just trying to get the main position. Now you'll be able to see this a lot better, guys. See? Wow, that looks pretty good. Excuse me. All right, so we're going to bring this up just a little bit past here. Yes, I don't want to have a lot of, I want the wrinkles fairly deep so we don't lose that detail in the mold over time, but I don't want them too deep either. I did the real deep stuff on the chin area here because it's gonna. Oh yeah, that looks good. Now let's take a look. Let me look at this angle here. That's looking good. A couple shorties. A couple shorties I'm going to do right in here. Okay. Less smoothing to do. By doing that, there's so much less smoothing to do with the sculpture. It's going to look a lot better. On the other side, once I do the other side, I'm going to work on this. I have to reposition everything to do anything. So the first thing I want to do is I am going to put a few cuts through the the eyebrow, but not a lot, because I guess what they were actually looking to try and create with this whole thing is like the mask got raked or scratched on both sides of the mask or something, and that's why the wrinkles are there. It's not so much cuts. It's just really weird. It's just weird. So I'm gonna pull down. Now I better go same direction. But not a lot, just a little bit, just subtle little scratches in there, but not like it's a ton, you know. So these are some of the secrets to making a good, the light, is it giving us enough light to see that? I think you can see that pretty good. Now I got some smoothing to do right in here. This one cut I started in here, I just didn't like the way it looked. So I'll fix that with a little bit of, you know what, I think I'm going to take out a couple of them boogers just with my needle. Just taking out that edge. Ooh, tough angle. I should be done this sculpt, this aging process by the end of this week. I should have everything sculpted in the way I want it. I still have some work to do in here. So beautiful. I love it when a plan comes together. Now this here, when I try to go in these deep cuts, I try to use this. Whatever you do, yeah, that's looking good. That's really looking good, guys. I think I got myself a nice sculpture here. Now this here, I don't know, this is bugging me here. Okay, perfect. Now, I might as well do a deboogering for you while I'm doing this. Okay, so I got my naphtha. Hopefully that's in frame. I need my blade to open that up. I use one of my really heavy-duty sculptor. Pop that lid. I'm still going to add. I want to fix this in here a little bit better before I. Right, but I'm gonna butter this area here just to show you. Now there was clay stuck in this still, so I want to make sure all the clay's out of the brush. Naphtha dissolves monster clay, which is a wax-based clay. It's not oil-based. Everybody thinks it's oil-based. Maybe it has oils in it, but it's mainly wax. So. It's mainly wax, guys. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting a light coat on here first. All right, I'm going to put a little bit more on there. And give that a second or two where it softens the clay. I don't want anything running down into my... Now once that softens for a few seconds here, then I'll take that brush. I'm going to clean it first again. This time I'm going to dry it out. Take all the fluid off of it, because we've got enough fluid on here already. It should be soft now. Just trying to debooger it. Make sure there's no boogers on this. See how soft that made this? See how soft I cut that in there now? Now this I can teach you. I can teach a technique. I can't teach you... and believe me, I'm learning this as I go myself. I don't have all the secrets of you know, this business all in my head. I learn as I go. That's why, but I'm not afraid to try things. Don't be afraid to pull the trigger. You have to pull the trigger. You won't learn anything by, well, I don't know if I can do it, and I don't know if I should try, because if I try, I might wreck it. Well, that's the worst thing you can say to yourself, because that, you know, you're literally freezing your progress. So whatever you do, guys, you know what, just go for it. You know, even if you're not an artist, you know, you may be an artist and don't know it. You may be able to have, you may have some amazing ability and you don't even know it. Yes, I've known I was an artist all my life, but I've never worked with clay up until last year. You know, it was always wood. I loved whittling with wood. I never really dealt with clay. So with that being said, voila, who knew? I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. A lot of work, but you know what? It's well worth the effort. You know, in the end, it looks pretty darn good. I want to put a little more texture with scratches and stuff in here, but I got to watch. I don't want to hit the cheek area, because that's going to get textured with the sponge. After all this is done, the whole thing gets textured with sponge. But that's pretty much this side of the face. Let me see. I got to look at that. Yeah, this looks pretty good here. Can you see that, guys? You see the wrinkles underneath the jawline here? You can see it with the light. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. Yeah. You know, and I still got the cuts in here to do. I'm going to do this side of the face and keep working at it. Now I'm looking at the mask and I'm just trying to see what other things I can do. I've noticed on this mask, this here disappears like right about the top of the ear. It's literally not there on this sculpture. Worn out, worn off, I don't know, you know. So maybe I'll take this off now. I'll scrape this down so it's not on there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that while I'm on camera with you guys, because now we're scraping this from something to damn near, well, from something to nothing. So the best way to do this, I don't know if this, yeah, I need my other one. There it is. I'm going to barely touch about where it has to be at the top of the ear, and I'm just pulling it down and pulling it down And it'll fade to nothing once I get that done. The glue line, that's what we're talking about here, guys. Maybe I leave a little tiny bit, barely noticeable, you know, just because I'm not trying to replicate this mask to a T. We're just going to create a little bit more of a wear. I'm altering this mask, this version of my mask, very subtly, with very subtle things. There you go. Kind of really disappears, but it's there still, just slightly. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yes, sir, I like it. I don't like this. What is that? Booger. Don't want no boogers. Don't like boogers. Never have, never will like boogers. Okay, that's out of there. And with the help of my handy dandy brush, that should really take it out of there. There you go. What do you think, guys? Have you learned anything today? Have I been some help to you? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not trying to discourage anybody out there. Like I said, if you're not an artist, it can't hurt to try. You know what I mean? Those of you out there that have never really done art all your life, this is probably not your first. This shouldn't be your first project. Trust me. I've heard a lot of people actually say that to me, but they didn't realize I was an artist for years with doing wood and relief carving. So shaping, whittling, I used to do. So shaping is not always, has never been an issue for me. So I've always been really good with shaping the, you know, if you did a duck, it was easy for me. I didn't have much problems with that. Yeah, you know, where the learning curve for me is techniques. I watch a lot of videos on guys doing techniques with, you know, what kind of tools they're using. Well, what I have learned over the last year of sculpting with clay is it all comes down to being comfortable with your tools. Whatever tools you use, it's what's comfortable for you. That's, you know, one guy's tool is another man's, you know, how did I say it? What would I say? One man's comfortable tool could be another man's nightmare or whatever, you know. You know, somebody else could be not comfortable with that particular tool. That's why you just have to try different things and then find your comfort level with whatever you're doing, and don't be afraid to create tools that might work better for you. You know, I don't know, you know, I don't think there's an exact secret to anything. I just think that, you know, the art is within you. It's God-given, and if you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're not. You know, it's just not your thing, you know. So there's no pun intended with anybody out there that's not really good at art. You're probably a whiz at mathematics. I'm horrible with math. You know, guys, it's funny. There's a lot of people that are artists, man. We're not real book smart. We rely a lot on our eye with everything. Our ears, our eyes, you know, because I'm a musician too. But I rely a lot on, you know, what I hear and see. And doesn't take a brainiac to do that, but it takes a gift. And Some are born with it, some aren't. And it's just the way it is. So I don't like trying to waste time trying to teach you how to be an artist, because it's not what I can do. I can't, nobody can teach you how to be an artist. You either are or you're not. What they can teach you is techniques on how to achieve different looks, different things. And look, I've been watching all these other videos, and there's not very many that I actually copy. I don't use anybody else's techniques, which is really weird. I found it very strange, because most of my techniques are my own techniques, because that's what's comfortable for me. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to say peace. Love you all, and keep, sharing my content. Subscribe on my YouTube channel, please. Share my content. I'm trying to build the channel. I'm not getting as much traffic as I'd like, but I haven't really been promoting right now because I've been so busy trying to get these masks done. I want to get this in production by October. And I'm going to do the Halloween Kills version of my NightCreeper. So this is going to get burned up here. The ear's going to get all really deformed, and this right in this area here gets really deformed. I've looked at enough pictures. I know exactly what I'm going to do to this to make it look really cool. So, but I'm going to do it in latex, so it's in the sculpture. I don't have to worry about putting glue on it and stuff. There's people out there overhauling the mask and putting all kinds of stuff in there, so it'll be in the sculpture. You won't have to worry about making a copy, so to speak. But I think I'm going to take a break for today, because I did that looks cool. That looks good. I like it. I do like it. Turned out pretty nice. So that being said, guys, peace. Have a great weekend. It's almost upon us. What is this, hump day? Yeah, let's take a look now. Being zoomed in, I'll do it zoomed in, but it does change the shape of the face. Remember that when you're looking at this. All right, it changes the shape of the face because of, oh, actually, wait a minute. You know what? Let's zoom out first. And you see what happens, because the camera actually, yeah, see? Isn't that pretty cool, guys? And I'm still working on this. Still got this. What I did here was I actually had to add a little lump of clay to bring that little bump out, because, oh, and this is the, this is my, I don't know if it was in frame. All right. This is the 2018 overhaul that I did. I'm not really keen on. It's okay. It's not great. Now here's that bump out I'm talking about. There's a little bump right in here. Bumps out, it dips down and then bumps out right where the crack is. I did the same thing to this. Give this little bump because it wasn't there. It was kind of rounded off. Anyway, I did shape the eyes inward. They're rounded in. See if you see it on an angle there. You can see it on an angle there. They're rounded in a little bit. Yeah, I started work on this side a little bit, not too much. I just, but this side here is coming together nice. So we should be really nice, when this is all said and done. This should be really good. So, like I said, I'm not trying to replicate this. I'm trying to turn my original 1978 into an aged look. I'm not going to change the shape of the face or the shape of anything. The eye cuts are still identical. They're just rounded off a little bit. And the reason why I feel like you have to do that to the sculpture, it's very simple. Shadowing takes place underneath this eye area here. You need a shadow in this area, because once you color this like a darker brown, if you look at this, look how the shadow falls into it when I block the light. See the shadowing that's right underneath the eye cut, or right above the eye cut, right in here? It's in a shadow. I need that same result here, and that's what I've achieved. I got it just enough to where there's a shadow there. See it? Right there. Just watch that spot. Yeah, see? Same thing. This one's a little less. On this side, there's not as much shadow. But anyway, that's it, guys. We're working slowly but surely getting this aged. What do you think? Let me know. Leave a comment, share my content, and let me know what you guys think. See ya.